So here's the last part of the roundout from the week of with Yah and 44 and Father of Might and Isaiah 4 and 4 and John 15 and 16 and all that Elohim is doing in the scripture verse and the burning, the spirit of burning and the spirit of judgment from Isaiah 4 and I'm going to read 4 from 4 3 through 6. Those left in Tziyon and remaining in Yerushalayim will be called Kodesh, and everyone in Yerushalayim written down for life. When Adonai Elohim washes away the filth of the women of Tziyon and cleanses Yerushalayim from the blood, cleanses Yerushalayim from the blood. Remember, Elohim started this with saying the head was sick. What's the head? The man. When he said he doesn't go after the daughters because they have gone away with whores. When he said he's restoring his house. Yes, that means getting men and women in order. Remember when he talked about he was washing and we were washing cups and we were turning them over and turning them up. So when he cleanses Yerushalayim, this doesn't just include for the whole body, but yes, me included, from the bloodshed in it and with a blast of searing judgment. Adonai Elohim will create over the whole site of Mount Tziyon and over those who assemble there a smoking cloud by day and a shining, flaming fire by night. Fire by night and a smoking cloud by day. For the esteem Elohim will be over everything like a hupah. With sukkah, a sukkah will give shade by day from the heat. It will also provide refuge and cover from storm and rain. And so this last little part about things going on online, things going on around the world, the increase of lawlessness in the last days, witchcraft being one of those things. Why we keep talking about that? Because that is a real problem. Rebellion is as divination and sin and witchcraft against Elohim. It is a direct sin against your being, your soul, the others, and Elohim specifically. You violate the main two commands. But anyway, and practices of witchcraft are not, he doesn't allow them to live. So you don't want to be in that danger. You don't want to be in that territory, in that pit. But the cleansing and the burning, and cleansing and the washing and the Kodesh fire, let Elohim do what he needs to do. So when people continue to try to push me out of here, push me out of territories, or do this or do that, or say, oh, this is why you're not going to do this because you don't like these people, or you don't support this, or you don't support that. No, stand with Elohim. Do not shake from. He is unchangeable. He is the firm foundation. He is the solid rock. Build your house upon him. Build everything upon him. Now, the other thing is, I equate when they say that to me to like, it's like saying, I'm not going to be. It's like you expecting Elohim to say, I'm not going to be your father because it's too hard to love you. Elohim's not going to be in this marriage. Messiah is not going to be your bridegroom because you're just too hard to love. And so when I'm on here and when other believers are on here and they're getting pressure from the world, but remember, Messiah said we would have pressure from the world. We're experiencing it. I'm experiencing the hour that Messiah has gone through, and Elohim has confirmed that in my life. However, even in the pressure of the world, Messiah already overcame. Even though the pressure of the world, did it stop Messiah from being the son of Elohim? Did it stop him from being the Savior? Did it stop him from being the light of the world? Did it stop him from being a city set up on a hill? Did it stop him from sharing the good news, speaking truth, walking in the way, doing what he saw his father do? No. Just because you will have pressures in the marriage, just because you will have pressures in the relationship, just because you have pressures in family, just because you will have pressures in the world, just because you have pressures in the business, just because you have pressures in the ministry, just because you will have pressures with your children, with your spouse, and man's enemy will be those of his own household. Just because you have pressures. My yoke is easy, my burden is light. I did not give you more than you can bear. I did not tell you these children are yours. This spouse is yours. This assembly is yours. This flock is you are a part of. And you get to just be like, I'm bowed out. That's where he talks about the marriage and people, mankind wanting to say, loose us from our bonds. He said, you enter into marriage thoughtlessly. And then want to say, loose us from our bonds. What? When the pressure, because love is tried and proven. Let me try you in the wilderness to see if you will obey me. If you love me, you will keep my commands. If you love me, you are obedience. Outside of obedience, rebellion and divination and witchcraft against Elohim. Don't walk in that against Elohim. To love the world is to be an enemy at enmity with Elohim. We don't walk in that. Be free from that bondage in the captivity. That's how good he is. That's how loving he is. He loves us. He is perfect love and he is good. And even when he experienced pressures, remember, Messiah felt the pressure in the world to the point of bleeding. He sweat blood. Have you ever endured so much pressure that you were sweating blood? Have you ever endured so much pressure? Oh no, but many people have been crucified in the flesh. Their flesh has died. He said those who have suffered in their flesh no longer sin. There are people who have given over their life for Messiah. Sacrifice, been a sacrificial lamb. Given and give and give and give. Forgiven 77 times 7. Pardoned, empathized, sympathized, snatching the one in the pit out of hell. Messiah saying, all of these are mine, I have lost none but the traitor, and no one and nothing will snatch him out of my hand. That's how the pressures, you felt the pressure and you still keep being kept by Elohim. Elohim is the one that keeps you. He's keeping you. Least you would be taken out completely. He is the one that keeps you from being taken out completely. So, even though he had endured so much pressure, he didn't walk away. Wasn't it that the taught ones and the people walk away from him? He didn't walk away from them. But also when they separated for a time, then they were reconciled back to the husbandman. When Hoshea's wife was separated for a time from him, then she was reconciled back to him. He does that, and he's doing that right now for all his people. To the prodigal son, remember the one who he was like, you were older son, you were always here with me. To those who have always been there with Messiah, the father, he's like, you always been here with me. To the prodigals on their way back, rejoice because now you got life again. The ones who's just being enlightened, man, I don't gotta be in this slop. To the ones being brought into remembrance and drawn to the Father, even in my Father's house, the servants have it better than out here in a strange land, in a strange way. Though pressures come, a Messiah has overcome the world. Remember that the purpose of this channel is always to remind us that Elohim, he is sovereign, he is good, and he is the Father. And Messiah has overcome all things, all things. Not one thing does he lack. Not one. Perfect love. And you will know it. Should you seek, should you desire, you will not be let down. He said, if you ask, you will receive. If you seek, you will find. If you knock, the door will be opened unto you. It will not be for naught. He said he wastes nothing. 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 He never made a mistake. Shalom, peace, and be well. Happy end of the week. Elohim, thank you also for reminding me about so much of the witchcraft as we talked about the thing that was in our feed going forth. And yes, people will still question, why are you exposing people? Why did you expose that stuff about politics? Why did you expose that stuff about algorithms? Why you expose about stuff about agendas, about pitting men versus women and different races or ethnicities? Because we don't just know that these things are not the way that we should go in the world and just partake or ignore it. The other thing is, I'm not ignoring the message that I'm about to put before this one. I'm not ignoring that there are people who are on here who constantly like, you don't know how other people feel, because they're going through things in their life and they're using witchcraft as a means to harm other people. That's not justified. Or to retaliate, that's not justified. So I am also addressing that. And why do I address that? Because those things don't continue. And he keeps talking about Isaiah and what he's doing, and the burning and the cleansing, and the spirit of burning and the spirit of judgment. And people are like, you're going through that, the whole world, and the States is going through that. But also it said to the household of belief first. And it's not that he doesn't care about people's feelings, but again, witchcraft is never a response to the injustices of the world. Witchcraft is never a response to, oh, you don't like somebody not liking your lifestyle. Witchcraft is never a response to pride. It's never a response to, you don't like the work or the labor that's being done or how it's being done. That's never the response to bringing forth transformation and renewal. And lies and continuing to cover and hide things are also not a response to that either. So I share those things for those reasons. And again, as I said, as the Father pointed out, the remembrance that, a lot of these things are happening. I mean, a lot of these things are being shown in escalation on YouTube and in other spaces. But that doesn't mean that me or anybody else should just stop doing what Elohim has called us to do. It also doesn't mean that we should hide those things because, it doesn't seem normal to talk about it, or because of other things. And then people are like, you're constantly accusing of walking in pride or anything like that. And it's just like, no, it's just not righteous to allow certain things to continue or to perpetuate or to not address it. It's not to just give my devotion and time. This is Shabbat. This is that Father's Day and a day of rest to give the time into devotion. But people have these questions and have these issues, or dreams, spells, and all these kinds of things, and things that don't come from Elohim, presences and stuff that, like the spirits that don't come from Elohim, and ways, and it's just like, it's, for example, supporting the fatherless epidemic or supporting death. And yeah, people can be pro-life or people can be pro-choice, for examples, and people have their right to live the way, choose what they're living. But again, as a believer, there are standards, and we also as believers have the right to speak about what Elohim says is of him and is good, even when his correction is good. Versus when you are people wanting you to always empathize, or always, no, not even sympathy. Sometimes people want pity. Sometimes people want you to pity them, or we're standing here and we're not making here to make people feel crappy by being honest. And by putting the word out there or sharing what is true, it's not to make somebody feel crappy, but I'm not able to control whether or not you feel crappy. But you have every right and control over not listening to this message or any of these other messages. It's not that I don't have the accountability, but I have the accountability to not sit here and be lying about just so that it makes somebody feel better. That's not love if I'm going to lie just to make you feel better. That's not love. I'm not here to pity you. I'm not here to be pitied. I'm not here for the, like there's empathy, there's sympathy, but there's compassion, but not at the expense of evil and sin and debauchery. That stuff should not continue. And it's not good for the person doing those things or partaking, and people not even understanding at time astrology and the depths of some of these things, or fireworks, for example. Or what are idols? What are true idols, and why is it not good for you? And different things like that, and knowing and understanding the depths. Some people actually truly want to be fully cleansed. They want the burning of the fire of Elohim to cleanse them, a burnt offering to Elohim to cleanse them. And they want the righteous judgment of Elohim. When the adversary is coming and he's like, judge Elohim. Is he righteous or is he not? Is he true or is he not? Yes, he's still true. And even when Elohim revealed, like, people were lonely, people were miserable, there are these different things that people are going through. And we understand that. But again, I'm not going to pity you over a message from Elohim. I'm not here to make you feel crappy. But if you feel certain ways, you have the power within yourself. You have the ability and control within yourself to remain feeling like, I can utilize this message in this way. I can perceive it and receive it in its whole matter, in its whole context. Or I can receive it as something that makes me feel terrible. When my father disciplines me, that doesn't make me think that he doesn't love me. That doesn't make me think that he hates me. That doesn't make me think that he doesn't want to be with me. That doesn't make me think that he and I are not one in Ruach. That doesn't make me think that his Ruach is not still with me. That doesn't make that he think that I'm no longer trustworthy to him. I'm no longer faithful to him. I'm no longer pleasing to him. That doesn't make me think that, because that's not what he's saying. He's saying, oh, check out this thing. Like he was showing me. Remember, I told you there's like some people who are watching or who are online or who are in that actual community of that state that you are from and stuff. And there are people who did witchcraft for those reasons, that didn't know the whole matter or don't care about it. And there are people who don't care about it. And people who you don't want you to address these things. But there are people that I know who genuinely need the understanding and the details. And I will treat them as my father treats me, because he is a friend to me, and because he loves me, because he doesn't lie to me. And he doesn't withhold even when the correction is grievous from me, because that's a part of love. He gives me the full truth, and he gives me the whole matter, and he does not sit here and say, oh, I'm only going to tell you what makes you feel bad. We're not making, and I pray, Father, that you heal these people from the thoughts that, well, you're making us destitute. No, we're not. Why would you speak that over yourself or over your friend? Elohim didn't. If he put you in a place, do the work that he gave you to do. It's kind of as simple as that. It's kind of as simple as that. If he shows, if he reveals, if he gives a message, it's as simple as that. He has a purpose in what he's working it out for the different people. People who are receiving joy from it, people who are receiving the correction from it, people who are receiving, oh, you know what? Oh my goodness, that's sin. I didn't even know that was a sin. Oh, you know what? That's not clean. I want to be clean. I want to know you, Father. Yes, Father, you are loving and you are good and you are perfect love, and your love even corrects me. And so I will not accept anything less than that. And I won't call that evil when it's good. As it says in the last days, people would call evil good and good evil, but I won't call your goodness evil. It is good that you are a father and a father that loves me and disciplines me. But not only the discipline, but you're one who will tell me. You will speak to me. You give all truth, and you don't withhold a thing from me. You don't hide and you don't lie. When you show me that somebody, did this spell, and even when the Father would reveal, there are things you did not reveal online. So people who've done witchcraft online, I expose to you who those are and where it came from, and the things they had to say and things. The people who did things from the physical community or from the state, I expose that too. And how does he do that? Because he has witnesses. Because there are things that I haven't said about certain places and spaces that nobody knows about. Organization that nobody knows about. But that just leads us back into, from the former message, about Elohim. About, Father, you providing what people need. You don't want people to be miserable. You don't want them trying to come against me or family or anything like that because of a jealousy, of an ought, of an envy, of coveting. We don't want what somebody else has. We have what Elohim already says we have. We are who Elohim called us to be. He created us. He gave us a name, and we are by our name. We are by the name that Elohim has given us. No one can take that away. It's in the Shemaim. My oneness in Ruach with Elohim is in the Shemaim. It's a perfect place where nothing can be stolen. Nothing changes. And it is under the power and authority and rulership and governing and sovereignty of Elohim. And no one can dethrone and go up to the Shemaim and dethrone and take it away. You can't take the name that's up there. You can't take the marriage union that's written on the scrolls up there. You can't take the children that's up there. You can't take the family that's up there. You can't take the giftings and the ministries that's up there. You can't take the visions and the dreams that are up there. You can't take the abundance that is up there. You can't take the faithfulness and the fruitfulness that is up there. You cannot take the identity that is up there. You can't take the protection and the covering that is up there. You can't take the Father who is up there. And that's for all of his children. And he wants that for all of creation. So I pray, I know you want that. That's your desire for all to be saved. Not just call upon you in a moment and be saved. But to be one with you in Ruach, to be immersed in you, to be in a kingdom, to be in your house, to be healed and delivered, to have what they need for themselves and their families, and doing your work and the work of the hands that you've given them, and doing what you created them for. This isn't an end all be all of I'm saying this over your life. No, I say over your life, let it be unto what Elohim desires. That's what I say on all people. That's why I pray the prayer continually. Elohim, your desires be done on earth as they are in the Shemaim. In us, and around us, and unto all of us. Your desires be done. And if people don't like that, then they have a right to not choose that. But I will pray what my Father, the Father, desires, that his desires be fulfilled in all creation, in all life, and over all things, because it is good. It is good. So, you have your way. In Yahushua Mashiach, your desires be done. Your reign come on earth as it is in the Shemaim. Father who is in the Shemaim, give us today our daily bread. Forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into trial, but deliver us from the wicked one. For yours is the reign, the power, and esteem forever. Amen. I know there are people that feel that this is not necessary, but I will follow you, Father, in your leading, in the trust, in the rest of Elohim. In the rest of Elohim. I don't have an ought with people. When they have come because they have an issue with me, I pray Elohim heals you, delivers you, redeems you, reconciles you to his life and life abundance, you eternal life. If that's what you desire, if that's not what you desire, I pray that you no longer are going in places and spaces where you feel miserable, where you feel lonely, where you feel like you need an external validation. I don't pray that you're not lacking spiritually or in the Ruach or in your being and in your identity. That what Elohim desires for you is done on earth as it is in the Shemaim. Yahushua Mashiach. Amen. Shalom.